Prevention is the key to a healthy heart.
Welcome back again to 6 Weeks to Wellness from InVibeHealth.com with Jan Fitzpatrick. And we are in the midst of our 4-part series here on how to have a healthy heart, and absolutely prevention worth a pound of cure. Isn't that what they say, an ounce of prevention? So tell me what we're going to cover in this segment today, Jan.
Well, heart disease can be prevented and reversed if you eat a healthy diet, exercise daily, get restorative sleep, decrease your systemic inflammation, and practice deep relaxation through meditation, prayer, and restorative yoga on a regular basis.
Very good. And we're, as usual, going to zero in on 3 main takeaways. And those are going to be for this episode that foods for your healthy heart are critically important. Beverages are also critically important. And there are important supplements that Jan's going to tell us about that are worth paying attention to. So let's take that from the top, Jan. Foods, you are what you eat, all that good stuff. An ounce of prevention. We joked in a previous episode about the instructions and how to give yourself heart disease if you really want to do that. We're talking about how to not do that now. So what do we do? What do we do with our food here?
Well, when you eat or drink anything, our bodies produce free radicals, which damage our cells. And that's normal. That happens all the time. The antioxidants in foods and beverages and supplements help to prevent that damage, because these days we are overwhelming our natural system.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really interesting research about the fact that these free radicals and the inflammatory kind of things we were talking about before can damage the end of your chromosomes and shorten your life, right?
Pretty much same thinking. And some of the best things you can eat are cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage, and foods with magnesium, such as green leafy vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds.
Well, lucky for me, I like all those things. The problem is, I also, and you kind of told me that I don't have to worry so much about saturated fat, so I might hold you to that, Jan. As you see me, put on another 20 pounds here, I might be cursing that. But I do like all these cruciferous vegetables. I like beans, nuts, all that good stuff. So maybe I'm on the right road. But it's also the lifelong pattern of eating. Yeah.
And so you did mention, you mentioned the weight. I'm going to pull you back because you mentioned gaining weight. And, significant weight gain does increase your risk of heart disease. So it really depends on where your calories come from. And they found that the worst source of calories for anyone is sugar, refined sugar. So just keep that in mind.
Well, and quantity matters, of course. I mean, you can eat a really healthy diet and still gain weight, obviously, by eating 5 portions at a time, right? And
of course.
Some would say that's the American way, right? That's why we're
one of the things I researched, it said a prudent diet.
There you go. There you go. There's always that little warning in there. Well, let's talk about another culprit that really is a big part of a lot of people's weight gain, and it's how it sort of sneaks in the form of beverages. So let's talk beverages and heart health.
Well, the research shows that water is the preferred beverage, and really they actually did a study where they did caffeinated coffee, decaffeinated coffee, and black tea, and they compared all of them, and it shows that, and they did a bunch of subsequent research too, that shows that black, and then I saw other research that says black and green tea is very healthy for you, and decaf coffee. And they're thinking it may be those antioxidants in the coffee itself that's so beneficial, but the caffeine is not, because again it restricts your blood vessels, and we talked about that. Impeding the flow of blood. And also one of the most, it's a flower really, that has one of the highest antioxidants rate, ORAC on the ORAC chart, is hibiscus, which comes in teas and extracts. So that would be a good thing to add too.
Interesting. Yeah, actually, I mean, tea. I'm not giving up my caffeine though, so I don't know about this decaf coffee thing here. I'm gonna resist this research, Jen. I'm just warning you. You may not win me over as a convert, but I'll take your word for it on the research. But
Okay.
But hey, tea is good. Water is my preferred beverage for sure. I mean,
That's good.
it's what you're made of, right? So it's got to make sense to drink a fair amount of water. All right, so beverage is important, your diet's important. Let's talk about supplements then. Some people love them, some people don't buy into them. Tell me what we really need to know about supplements.
Well, that's a really good question, and a thing about people don't buy into it. I guess my philosophy is optimal health, being the healthiest I can possibly be. And to do that, you do have to supplement. There's just no other way, because our food doesn't contain enough of what we need, and we certainly, if we ate enough, I would be like you. I'd be 20 pounds overweight. Not that you're that way, but your whole plan about becoming
right. Absolutely.
I would definitely not be able to do that. One of the things they found, and we did talk about it earlier in a previous segment, is probiotics, friendly bacteria in the gut. We need to really have a good population of those, and almost anything we take that's over the counter or not food, anything that's not food, ends up destroying our probiotics little by little, especially if it's some kind of drug, a prescription drug. And it sounds really funny that probiotics would reduce your stress. Remember, we were talking about the negative emotions, constrict your blood vessels. Well, if we can not have those negative reactions, the stress is going to happen. It's how we react to it.
Yep.
What happens is they did a study where they gave probiotics. I'm not even going to say how you did it, because it was to mice, and I don't like to talk about that. But they found through their research that a healthy gut sort of short circuits your negative reaction where you would constrict your blood vessels. And what happens is there's a vagus nerve that goes from your gut to your brain, and it uses that pathway to say, oh, no, you're okay, shh, you're okay. If you have enough, this is if you have enough probiotics. It's all right, everything is fine. And the brain produces GABA, and that just calms everything.
Right.
So the big inhibitor of that stress reaction and that flight or fight response. So if you have a healthy population of probiotics, you literally change your personality. Those are other studies I ran into.
Yeah, no, and they are very fascinating. We were talking about that again also in an earlier segment. So if you haven't picked up the hint yet, this is a series, like we said. You'll want to go back and get those other segments, because there's lots of good stuff there about how our gut really does have a huge impact on a lot of things there. So bottom line, Jan, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that it's not really about do you need supplements? Most people are not even capable in this day and age of having a healthy enough diet to get everything they need.
That's true.
Figuring out how to properly supplement your diet is a way of trying to correct that and get what you need. Because, hey, we live in a modern world where food is coming from supermarkets and things like that, and it's deficient in a lot of things that people need. So.
Well, I would also add 2 other supplements that are really, really important, especially when you're over 35, and that's vitamin D, which you get from sunshine, but it's really, most of us, especially in Pennsylvania, there's no way from November to February that you can possibly, even if you were out there naked 24 hours, you can't get enough sunlight. And they have found that deficiencies of vitamin D do lead to heart disease. And then the third one, people have heard about coenzyme Q10. The current version of that is ubiquinol, which is a different form of it that's more easily absorbed. And after about the age of 30 or 35, we no longer make it in our bodies, and we have to get it from food. And we already covered the fact that you'd have to eat a whole lot of green leafy vegetables to get enough coenzyme Q10 or ubiquinol. I don't even think that's possible. And ubiquinol is the spark that creates energy in every cell, which is unique. That's why it's ubiquitous. It's ubiquinol. And it's also the intercellular antioxidant, or the one that's in every cell of your body.
How about that? Well, I'm going to have to check that out, because this is the first I've ever heard of ubiquinol. Shows you that I am not paying proper attention, Jan. So I'm always thankful when we do these segments, because I learn a ton, and I'm here to learn on behalf of the audience. So I know that if I'm learning a ton, so are they. So this is really good stuff. Well, we've been talking about how to have a healthy heart. We're, moving towards our last episode in this 4-part series that we're doing on the topic of how to have a healthy heart. In this episode, we've been talking about what you take in, really. We've been talking about the foods that lead to having a healthy heart. We've been talking about the beverages, drink more water, right, that lead to a healthy heart, and important supplements that really counteract the fact that we can't possibly be eating a healthy diet if we're living in the modern world, right? We'd have to graze like cows in the fields, right? And so we're not likely to be getting what we really need. So we're going to continue this series with one more segment. You don't want to miss out on that, and if you've missed out at any of the first two, they live over at invibehealth.com, which is Jan's website. So you want to go over there. There's a lot of interesting things there, including the fact that you can get Jan's Amazon.com ebook without paying for it. Jan, plug your ears, because I'm stealing money from you right now. So you can buy it on Amazon if you really want, but if you go to invibehealth.com, you can download it free simply by clicking on the book banner, getting on Jan's contact list, so you get all this great information. You don't miss out on part 4 that's coming up in this series, as well as lots of other great stuff that has just been layered upon layer of great content on invibehealth.com. So go there right now. Get on the list by getting the ebook. It's a great ebook in and of itself, so you want to get that as well. So Jan, we got one more part to get to. We'll get to that next. So until we meet again on the next episode, I'm going to say thank you for all of this great information. You keep giving me homework to do.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.